Welcome inside the CBC Olympics digital studio. I'm Dale Manucdoc. She's Meg Roberts. This is Paris Pulse Day 5, live on YouTube every day at 1:30 p.m. Eastern throughout the Paris 2024 Games.
We're the thick of the games now, and there's lots coming up on the show. To start off, we're going to talk a little bit about Canada. Soccer continues to make news, losing their appeal today. Also, the pool in Paris is being called slow. We break down what exactly that means. Baby announcements in Paris are making headlines. We're also going to share with you some of our favorite venues so far at the Olympic Games. And as always, I break down what you have to tune into. So, Dale, to start off, the Court of Arbitration has dismissed the appeal that Canada Soccer put out against the deduction of 6 points. That deduction obviously was in response, kind of as punishment to the alleged spying that was happening with a drone earlier on in the tournament.
Yeah, and FIFA being pretty transparent with their findings. They released a 26-page document that contains some damning evidence against head coach Bev Priestman.
Yeah, so in that report, we saw on March 20th, there's an email from performance analysts that they were unwilling to engage in spying. In that message, the analysts listed 3 reasons, which were morally, their own reputation, potentially being unable to fulfill their role on match day. And further in that email, it goes on to say that they were encouraging the coaching staff to look for other solutions and said, just want to confirm that you, referring to Bev Priestman, the head coach, will not be asking me to fulfill the role of spying in the upcoming camp. And
this report also includes correspondence from Bev Priestman immediately following that email that she received. This one says, hi, it's also, we can't see it on this screen, but there's a redacted name. You never want to see redactions in documents, right? It says, hi, seeking your advice and input here regarding this formal email on spying. It's something the analyst has always done, and I know there's a whole operation on the men's side. She goes on to say for scouting, it can be the difference between winning and losing, and all the top 10 teams do it. She is implicating the men's side, implicating the rest of the top programs in the world. What do you think? Well,
I mean, that is a lot to mull over there, obviously, saying that this has been an ongoing, something that they actively have been doing. That is troubling, obviously.
I just want to say that this is one of the worst jobs at spying that I've ever seen. And, there's no code words. If you're going to spy, use some code words. James Bond would be.
What would your code word be?
Oranges, pylon, camera, anything.
Yeah, to explicitly say spying. I think it's also important to note that the COC and Canada Soccer has said that they are disappointed that the women will still have to continue with that deduction of 6 points, because obviously it comes down to a punishment to the players who had no say.
They said it was unfair to the players. They didn't do anything here.
Absolutely. It's important to note, too, that Canada Soccer plays today against Colombia. This is do or die, obviously. If they win this game, they are able to advance to the quarterfinals. If they lose or tie this game, they are done. That is it. They're run at the Paris Olympics.
And so for anybody who wants to find out more about this FIFA decision, you can head over to cbcsports.ca. Meg, this isn't the only mystery at the Olympics. There is some chatter about a slow pool. We know that we haven't seen any world records set in the pool so far, a handful of Olympic records set, but we know it's the year 2024, that athletes are bigger, faster, stronger, and yet a little bit slower in the pool.
Yeah, I think this is interesting because Saturday night's race, that was the race of the century. That's what it was being called, the 400-meter freestyle. Katie Ledecky, Titmus, and of course Summer McIntosh, they were all racing. And if you look back and you average the times, they average a second and a half slower than their personal best. Obviously, things happen for a lot of reasons, but a lot of people are talking about the slow pool.
That's right. That is the word on the pool deck. And they say that the slow pool has to do with the depth of the pool. We did speak with our swimming analyst, Brittany McLean. She's no scientist, but here's what she had to say.
All of these pools are temporary kits. So I always do this when I explain it, but imagine you pick up a pool and you plop it in a stadium. That's quite literally what is happening right now. There's concerts that go on here. There's rugby events that go on here. So they're making these venues out of a space that's not meant for swimming. So they have regulation-sized pools. My next thought is, well, wouldn't they all be the same? Well, most of them are the same. They have to be the same length and they have to be the same width. Each lane is 2.5 meters wide. And of course, the length of the pool is 50 meters. But the problem with the depth is it's a range. So a lot of Olympic-sized pools are typically 3 meters deep. This pool is only 2.15 meters deep. Now, when it was first decided that this pool was going into this facility, they had to be between 2 and 3 meters. And based on the restrictions of the event capacity of where it was going, they had to stick on the lower end of that. Now, the one thing I will say about it, should this impact the swimmers drastically? No. And my other point to it is are they all in the same boat? Absolutely. So it's an opportunity to race. You've prepared your whole life for this. The pool is beautiful. It is very capable of posting fast times. We've seen some fast times. Unfortunately, less records broken. That's probably the reasoning for it. And the science behind it is that the shallower water actually creates more friction, so more waves and unfortunately less like smooth propulsion through the water. But yeah, so it is impacting it. I won't belittle that, but I love the idea that everybody's in the same boat. They're all dealing with the same circumstances. It's the Olympic Games. They have to stand up and perform under the pressures put towards them, and this is one of the situations here in Paris.
Again, that's our swimming analyst, Brittany McLean, no scientist, but if she wanted to be, she could be an engineer, she could be the prime minister, she could do anything. You know why? Because women are the best.
Women are the best. What a perfect segue into our next little spot here, which is lots of baby talk around the Olympic Village and around some of the venues. We are seeing some pregnant athletes. That right there is Egyptian fencer Nada Hafez. She announced she's 7 months pregnant. She's a 3-time Olympian.
And in one of her Instagram posts, she captions a photo that says, "What appears to you as 2 players on the podium, they were actually 3. And this is an archer from Azerbaijan, also pregnant. And
she looks so good.
Oh my God. Just goes to show, man, that women could do anything. Who run the world?
Girls. I was hoping you wanted me to finish that.
Yeah, there you go.
This is so incredible, obviously. Just proof that you can do both and that moms are superheroes all the time. There's also a really nice moment as well. It is with U.S. swimmer that is Ryan Murphy. He swam the 100 meter. And once he finished the race, he looked up into the stands and this is his wife saying it's a girl. What a gender reveal.
What a gender reveal. What a night for him, because he won a bronze medal that night. And as you mentioned, starts scanning the crowd, looking for his family, and finds out that he's having a baby girl.
So he has another race today, and I'm wondering what's going to be the surprise. Like, how do you top that?
Brian, it's triplets. Quadruplets.
That would be a surprise.
We have a show on TLC.
I hope he would at least know if he was going to have triplets. And, you know, all of this kind of lends itself to a really historic moment. That's for the first time ever at the Olympic Village. There's a nursery, and that's where athletes can get together with their families and with their babies. And we've got a really nice kind of video explaining what this looks like.
Imagine being an athlete on the world's biggest stage and not having a space to see your kids. For the first time, there's a nursery in the Athletes Village for Olympic and Paralympic parent athletes to visit, play with, and care for their children who are not allowed into the athletes' housing. Athletes can book private or shared appointments at the facility, which accommodates up to 6 family members. They have access to private spaces for breastfeeding, a family lounge for playtime, and a changing station. 11-time Olympic medalist Allison Felix is a member of the IOC's Athletes Commission and spearheaded the project, which is sponsored by Pampers. The American mom of 2 had an infamous break with longtime sponsor Nike in 2019 after experiencing complications in her first pregnancy. The brand asked her to take a 70% pay cut and decline the maternity protection she requested when she decided to start a family. Since then, Felix has been a strong advocate for athlete moms and families.
It's really about time that they had a nursery available to the athletes.
Absolutely.
That's at the Athletes Village. And the Athletes Village is one of the few places where Paris actually built structures, because part of the reason that Paris was awarded these Olympic Games is because they didn't have to build much. They had all these iconic venues to bring people to.
That we are seeing now. And I think it's added such a nice touch, obviously, to these games, being able to witness some of these sports in these iconic places.
Yeah, let's go through some of our favorites. One of the top ones for me is Roland Garros, and this means a lot to me to see this at the Olympics, obviously, because I'm such a huge tennis fan. To see the red dirt of Roland Garros, a Philippe Chatrier court, is just unbelievable.
A venue that I am really excited to see because track is coming up is the Stade de France. That's obviously with a track and field. I love what they've done there with the purple. I've heard a lot of comments, obviously, about the new purple track.
Why not try something different?
Oh, absolutely.
What else we got? We have Tahiti. This isn't in Paris, but the fact that they're in Tahiti, French Polynesian area, unbelievable to have the Pacific Ocean there. That just looks so stunning.
I think it's iconic, very iconic. Okay, look at this one, the Parc at Versailles. I love this. I think it looks so beautiful. This is where equestrian is happening. You see all the gardens there, and it's meshed with this history. I think this would just be such a stellar place if you were going to compete.
This is the one that got me excited. This is the one that got me excited for the Olympics in general. When this image came out that this outdoor beach volleyball stadium would be at the base of the Eiffel Tower, I got fired up.
Oh yeah, I was hyped about this. Like, I don't think you can beat this venue, to be honest. The sand right in front of the Eiffel Tower, this is going to go down, I think, in like one of the big moments.
And we got a couple Canadians hitting the beach
We do,
today,
so
right?
that segues into Meg's must-watch. Beach volleyball, that iconic view right there. Beach volleyball, both the men's and women's Canadian team play today. The men's play at 2 p.m. and at 3 p.m. there, that's the Brandy Wilkerson and Melissa Humana Paredes, they play at 3, so you're going to want to catch them. Also, we talked a little bit earlier about this, but women's soccer team, they play Colombia at 3 o'clock.
And it's winning, they're in.
Winning, they're in, or do or die, whatever you want to say.
If they tie or if they lose, they're out.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a one that you're really going to want to tune into to see what their run
Catch that on
continues to look
CBC
like.
Gem for free.
We're also going to see Canadian swimmer Ilya Kharun. He is also swimming in the 200-meter butterfly at 2:37 p.m., so not very long from right now. And he's got a really interesting story because his parents, it's a complete chance he competes for Canada.
Yeah, his parents were in Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
It happened to be in Montreal. That's where, more baby news, but that's where he was born, in Montreal. So they immediately moved to Las Vegas. And so he spent most of his life there. He thought he was going to swim for the United States, but that didn't happen. So he's swimming for Canada.
Yeah, he's been American and he's swam for the Americans for almost the majority of his life. Anyways, you're going to be able to see that at 2:37 p.m. And the other event that we're really looking forward to is Evan Dunphy. He is in the we're going to go to Shadi Ellen Haas. He's trying to medal in the 100 kilo judo. He lost bronze in Tokyo, but he had a big world championship year this year. He ended up with a silver medal, and he actually had to pull out of that game, that match due to injury. So the qualifying rounds happen there very early in the morning at around 4 a.m. That's tomorrow morning, day 6. The final is at 11:18. And I also just want to mention that Evan Dunphy, he is a race walking men's 200 kilometer.
Look at him go.
I know, quick. He starts at 1:30 tomorrow, which is like kind of tonight. You're going to want to stay up late, not get up early. But anyways, he won a bronze medal in Tokyo, and you know that he's going to be fired up to take on this 20-kilometer race.
Well, I'm up at 3:30 a.m. Eastern to get to the studio and start watching all of the stuff. This is 1:30 p.m. Eastern every single day, live on YouTube. That's where you can catch us. Thank you for joining us.